I'm going to show you how to take one idea and vibe direct 7 episodes of a microdrama. Microdramas begin with a hook and end with a cliffhanger. So I'm going to show how vibe directing saves time so you can stay focused on creativity and storytelling. We're going to use OpenArt Director, and this tutorial is sponsored by OpenArt. You may remember my tutorial about a time traveler who keeps getting sent to the wrong era because of an incompetent time dispatcher. I think that idea would make a great microdrama. There's lots of opportunities for things to change. So here I am in OpenArt Director. Let's try doing a microdrama. So I'm going to click this one. I could import characters from my past projects, but I want to start from scratch so we can create the characters with vibes. Let's call the time traveler Lola, add a description. It's tempting to just write, she's a time traveler, but we're giving the AI context, so it's worth taking time. I spent about 10 minutes writing this, pause if you want to read it. And now the time dispatcher, we'll call him Eddie. He used AI to cheat on his tests at Time Dispatch Academy, so he's bad at actually operating the console. So we've got Lola and Eddie. We'll be able to add more characters later. Now I'm going to give Director my story idea using natural language, just like I would if I were describing the story to a friend. I came up with this, which took another 15 minutes or so. I'm highlighting the time it takes to write out the ideas because your human creativity is the most important piece in this. With vibe directing, your time is spent on creative decision making. It's easy to focus on what the agent is doing, how it's automating all of these tasks. But the important takeaway from this is how your creative input, your perspective is the most important element. All right, the agent came up with a rough draft script, and here are some decisions for the first time travel. There's 1888 London, a 1955 diner, or 1349 plague era. These are good options, and if I didn't like them, I could come up with a new one, but I'm going to go with 1888 London. It's tempting to lock it in, but I really need to see the script before any video gets generated. I realized this is actually episode 2. We can't just start with her showing up in London. We don't have any context for what's happening. So if this was the first episode someone saw, they might be inclined to go back to the beginning. But if this was the beginning, it would be really confusing. Since we're vibe directing here, I'm just going to say that, like, oh, I realized this is actually episode 2. So, and it did exactly what I wanted. It gave me a new episode and it just bumped episode 1 to now be episode 2. All right, let's look at this story breakdown and script. I'm going to go through and just delete and add things that I like. Like it does things like, you must be my first jumper. I don't want to call them jumpers. I know that's like from other time travel things. To me, that feels too sci-fi. I want this to be like boring, bureaucratic sci-fi. I don't think he needs to say anything. So I have her saying, wait, why are you here? That will play in later. And then she's connecting 2 dots that shouldn't touch. This makes no sense to me. Like they should touch. That's why she's connecting them. So let's just say she's making a connection between the two. I think the quality of the writing that you put in affects the quality of the output that you get from the generations. All right, I made a few changes to the dialogue and now I'm going to save it. So it's doing all of these different steps now. One thing I really like about this process is that all of my focus is on the creative, on the storytelling. It's managing a lot of these smaller tasks that take up time. So what I like is that it's really keeping me in control creatively. And if you've made AI video content before, you know that there are a lot of different steps. You've got to be able to wear a lot of different hats. AI handles the tasks. I use my creativity and my taste to shape the story. So I get to direct the creative rather than handle each of the individual tasks. So it's created these character reference sheets and it's created a location. I do like this time dispatch launch bay. It feels a lot like a parking garage, which is the vibe I like. I don't like it when things are really glossy and sci-fi. But for the characters, they look a little too generic. I picked out these colors. They don't really go together, so I'm going to reprompt for that. Correction, I'm not going to reprompt it. I'm going to talk to the agent here. So typically what I would do is I might take these images, download them, bring them over to an AI assistant and say, hey, here are some changes that I want. How can I update the prompt? I would cut and paste that prompt, bring it back here, paste it, generate a new image. What Director does is combine all of that into this single chat window. I don't need to leave here. I can just describe the changes I want. All right, let's send this along. Here's the second pass at casting. Let's click in here. These characters look much better. The character sheets look very 3D rendered, especially in the fabric folds here. I found that the rendered look doesn't necessarily carry over to the actual video as long as your prompt includes the right cinematic details. So I'm just going to ask it a question because I want to know how it's trying to keep these voices consistent. So what it's doing is it's added a voice sample to each of the characters. And then it's based on their delivery, not the voice tone. So I'm just going to say, can I hear their sampled voices and approve or choose a new one? I'm creative directing here. All right, let's listen to Lola's.
Doesn't matter. Simple one today. I just need to go back 2 years. Should be easy.
Oh, I'm the new time travel dispatcher. 2 years. Easy. I was still in school.
So I'm glad we did this because I don't like those voices. Here's something I've used before, naturalistic cadence and delivery, and hopefully that will give us a little bit better of a voice. Let's see.
Doesn't matter. Simple one today. I just need to go back. 2 years should be easy.
Oh, I'm the new time travel dispatcher.
These are not giving me the delivery that I want. So I'm just curious, can we do native audio? So it can do native audio. What I also like is that it gives me this technical explanation of why I actually prefer native audio to TTS. I've never called it TTS before, but I'm willing to accept this trade-off where there's a little bit of drift in the voice over a voice that sounds like an audiobook. So I'm going to say, I just want to see the base voice signature. Don't render a video yet. My hunch is that negative prompting doesn't work very well. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to get rid of this whole part. So it's trying to respond to my feedback. So it says reads early, mid to 30s, never older. That's not really a good part of the prompt. Controlled and only contain. Minimal gravel, let's say minimal rasp. So this is shorter, I like that. And then for him, we already have this, so we don't need to say this again. So if this doesn't work, it's on me. All right, now we're getting somewhere. So we changed the script, we changed the characters, and we changed the voices. And I did it all within this chat window. So I just had a conversation about the movie I wanted to see and action. All right, now it is going. So it's generating multiple videos and the music. Now I can just walk away and let it work. And what I can focus on now is solving the next creative problem. So my creative problem is what should happen when she shows up in London in the 1880s? I honestly came up with an idea while the agent was working on the first episode, and I'll share that in a moment. All right, here's the first episode.
Wait, why are you here?
Oh, I'm the new time travel dispatcher. Doesn't matter. Simple one today. I just need to go back 2 years. Should be easy.
2 years, easy. I was still in school.
Two years, Eddie. You probably did chapter 1 in the manual.
Yeah, it probably is.
Just hit 2, then the letter C.
No, not C, that's century! Wait!
Oh, Roman numerals. Whoops.
Overall, not bad. There's like a funky little spot from this eye where suddenly we see her walking over. And then she's back on this side. And then I can just trim this shot to here. So it says if anything feels off, a line read, a beats pacing, level of detail, let me know. So I'm referring to these numbers. So this is clip 1, take 1, clip 2, take 1, clip 3, take 1. So I can manually trim a clip, or I can prompt it in here to change something about the shot.
Oh, Roman numerals.
Oh, Roman numerums.
Roman numerums. I'm going to live with that. You know how people do that rage bait thing where they'll intentionally mispronounce a word or a name or something? We'll leave it in there for pure AI rage bait. So while the agent was doing all of that, I was thinking about what would be the worst thing that could happen if you were a time traveler who wasn't supposed to interact with any people. And I thought, What if a pickpocket stole her communicator? That forces her to engage with the world. And then I thought, what if the time dispatcher finally does something right, but ends up bringing the pickpocket back instead of Lola? I think those are nice twists that feel really good in this microdrama storytelling style. So for me, there's a lot of value in basically hiring out the technical production tasks so I can stay focused on storytelling. I needed to give Lola something to do in London, but I wanted her to stay in the same place the pickpocket will return to. So I had this idea, and I didn't know if it would work, but I checked Wikipedia, and in 1888, H.G. Wells would have been in his 20s and hadn't yet written The Time Machine. I couldn't figure out how they would meet, then realized her jacket would probably make her stand out. You can't be a writer without being curious, so I imagine H.G. Wells would approach her and ask about it.
Hello, sir. Name is Herbert George Wells, and I wanted to ask you about your peculiar jacket.
The dispatcher accidentally reveals it's a time machine.
Just stay there and I'll send you back to your own time.
Is this a time machine?
You're H.G. Wells?
H.G.? I like the sound of that.
Get me out of here.
And then the idea is maybe this mistake actually gave H.G. Wells the idea for the time machine.
What was that?
The cliffhanger here is that she's in the wormhole. We're not sure where she's going, but it didn't look like she was traveling through it. It looked like the colors were just changing behind her. So I chatted with the agent and basically said, make it look like she's traveling through the wormhole, talking to herself, not the communicator.
Just get me home.
I like the idea of putting her in situations where she's forced to engage with the world. So it seemed fun to put her in the Roman Colosseum for a gladiator fight. All I needed to do was explain my idea to Director. It generated the location images and a character reference sheet for the gladiator. This first one looked too much like an executioner, so I had it create a reference sheet for a more imposing gladiator. Someone who it seems like she would have no chance against whatsoever. And then the fun part is that we get to have a little action sequence. So it starts with a battle. And then in the next episode, I decided to introduce a tiger and have the tiger lurch at her just as the time dispatcher gets her out of there.
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Go give vibe directing a shot. There's a special discount code for OpenArt in the description, and they've got different plans for different budgets. All right, thanks for watching. I'll be releasing these microdrama episodes as shorts on YouTube and on TikTok. So make sure you're subscribed to AI Video School if you want to see them. And there are links to everything we've covered in the description. So have fun vibe directing in OpenArt Director.